Poecilotheria subfusca lowland, quick, deadly, and one of the most beautiful species in the genus. So let's step inside this video and find out all about it. Hello everybody, welcome to this latest episode. I am your host Robbie and this is Robbiestalkingts, tarantula content for tarantula lovers just like yourselves. In today's video I'm going to be showcasing the awesome species that is Poecilotheria subfusca lowland. I'll be giving you care and husbandry tips as well as showing you a rehousing of two juveniles that we got from the awesome Mark at Mark's Tea Room. But before we get into that, I just want to say if you've been here before, I really appreciate the support, and if you're new here and want more awesome tarantula content in your feed, then consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss future videos. Now I've been talking too much, let's show you that tarantula. So here we go with the rehousing of two juveniles I picked up from Mark at Mark's Tea Room. Now if you haven't checked his site out yet, make sure you do, because he has a great selection of tarantulas available at really good prices. But while you watch that, I'm going to give you some information on Poecilotheria subfusca lowland. Poecilotheria subfusca lowland, or the ivory ornamental as it's commonly known, is an old world arboreal species of tarantula. Now for all of you new to the hobby, arboreal means it lives in trees. Originating from Sri Lanka, with a medium to fast growth rate, adult sizes are expected to reach between 15 centimeters and 17 centimeters. This species is definitely not for beginners. They can be fast, bolty, defensive and aggressive if provoked. Now even though their venom isn't medically significant to humans, it can cause a painful bite as well as muscle paralysis, headaches, nausea, so you definitely don't want to get tagged by one. Now with this species, I like to house mine when they're this small size in a small arboreal setup with a piece of cork bark leaned up against the side and a water dish. You will notice that slings and juveniles do tend to burrow before they take to the trees, and you see them out a little more often. But don't be surprised if you pick one up that's really reclusive. Now as adults, you will want to set these up a little differently. I like to keep mine in the Exoterra Nano tools, which are 8 inches by 8 inches by 12 inches. Again, you want the cork bark flat leaned up against the enclosure, or a cork bark tube, some fake plastic plants or real plants if you're thinking of doing a bioactive enclosure. Just make sure they're safe for your teas, a water dish, and it will do perfectly fine. Temperature wise, I like to keep mine at around 24 degrees Celsius during the day, and I like to drop it down to between 18 and 20 at night. These guys do just fine. I've never had any problems with them dying due to cold or anything like that. So keep in mind that if you live in warmer climates, you won't want to use heat mats on the side of the enclosure. I don't advise that as it is. But yeah, just standard room temperature, they do perfectly fine. As for misting, I like to mist my enclosure once a week, maybe twice, depending on how hot it is, and letting it just dry out it'll be fine just doing that. You don't want to go overboard. These guys, they do suffer when you miss them way too much. I've seen it in the past that people just spray the hell out of their enclosure, and yeah, the tea just doesn't do well. As for feeding, slings, I like to feed slings every other day. Now I give them small mealworms, small crickets, and obviously as these guys put on size, I like to increase the size of the food and the frequency, because as adults I feed mine once a week, a large dubia, a large locust, or a superworm, and they like that just fine. But again, whatever works for you, you can't really do it wrong when it comes to tarantulas. They're so used to out in the wild, sometimes having a regular food source all at once and then it disappearing. These guys can survive months at a time without eating, so really don't stress about your eating schedule. So let's get a little bit into rehousing these guys. I know there's people new to the hobby or people that haven't got experience with Poecilotheria yet who have been collecting tarantulas for years. My advice is take your time, because Poecilotheria, from slings right up until adults, are lightning fast, and even though they're more inclined to bolt than actually get aggressive and defensive, it's good to be prepared for that. Now if the tarantula does bolt, I've found in my experience it's more likely to run around the enclosure rather than run straight up towards you. So just take your time, have the adequate size catch cup that you need for the size that you are rehousing, and just take your time. There's nothing worse than getting in a panic and all hell breaks loose and then you've got a Poecilotheria lost in your house. Now I know I've had tarantulas bolt and escape before and disappeared for days. So yeah, just take your time and you'll be just fine. So let's just do a quick little recap. Poecilotheria subfusca lowland, or the ivory ornamental, is an old world arboreal, medium to fast growth rate, reaching a size of up to 17 centimeters. It's not a beginner species as it can be defensive and aggressive. Lifespan, females 12 years, males between 2 and 3 years. Temperature wise, keep them at 24 degrees and between 18 and 20 at night. Adults miss the enclosure once a week. Slings twice a week at most. Feeding schedule every other day for slings, once a week for adults. If you do that, you'll have a happy spider. So, to round off this video, I think you guys will agree that Poecilotheria subfusca lowland is a stunning, gorgeous species, and if you haven't got one in your collection, make sure to pick one up. You won't regret it. Now we've come to the end, I just want to remind you guys we're getting closer to that 1,000 subscriber Poecilotheria giveaway that I'm doing on the channel. We're currently at 866 subscribers. We're getting so close. I want to thank all of you who have hit the subscribe button so far. You're who keep the channel going. So if you want to be in with a chance to win it, all you have to do is click subscribe, click the bell notification icon, go and watch my Poecilotheria tigrina Wesley revamp video, and just write Poecilotheria in the comments. Once you've done all that, you're golden, you're in the draw. Hopefully we'll make it within the next month or so, and I'll do the draw. Now all that's been said, let's end the video there. You guys have had enough of me waffling on for so long. I'll catch you in the next one.